Hey guys, I'm Koko. Welcome to my new Kenshi mod spotlight video. Today we're taking a look at Project Genesis World Overhaul mod, which is currently in its alpha stage. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to check out my Project Genesis playthrough, where I explored the whole world and attempted to map out all of the new additions with a small crew of stealthy ninjas. Or check out my new heavily story-focused playthrough titled Legend of the Dark King, where my ultimate goal is to conquer the whole world. Links will be in the description. I'd also like to point out that this video will contain spoilers for new locations added in Project Genesis. So, if you prefer to explore the world at your own pace, consider yourself warned. Now, let's begin. If you've not heard of Project Genesis before, let me offer you a brief explanation of what it is trying to accomplish. The aim of Genesis is a complete overhaul of the world of Kenshi, fusing a great number of existing mods together and using them as a framework to build and expand upon. This adds a huge amount of new towns, new factions, new bounties to pursue, and new treasures to find. There are also certain factions that will send you out on quests or ask for your help to siege a city. The mod team is not just using these separate mods to create a loose conglomerate of content that doesn't really fit together. They are working on seamless interactions via unique features, like new events, new towns, NPCs and kingdoms, to connect the world into one huge, flawlessly working mechanism. For instance, if you are familiar with big world expansion focused mods like the Avalon Isles or Swish mods, you will find them seamlessly integrated into Genesis. Project Genesis is currently in its alpha stage, which means any and all features are subject to change. It means there's many new features that have not yet been fully implemented. There are many empty towns and unfinished zones. If you decide to play it at this stage, you are actively helping the mod team improve it with your feedback for eventual beta release, which is coming at some point next year. It is bound to more than double the amount of content currently in alpha. If you want to try it out, head out to Genesis official Discord channel and download the client. I will provide the link to Discord in the description. The new factions you encounter throughout the world will be equipped with new and different weapons and armor added via the addition of various equipment mods and seamlessly integrated with Kenshi's existing and new factions. There are also new belt slot cybernetics that modify and improve your character in unique ways, but the downside is they are currently quite overpowered. Starting a new game via the classic Wanderer Kenshi start, you will find yourself in a transformed hub. The streets are filled with market tents and people selling goods, which is in fact a feature that has been added to all of the major locations. There's also a new faction of Crimson Rogues that made their home here, and if you're willing, they'll send you all across the world on assassination missions, not unlike the Morak Tong in the good old Test 3 Morrowind. In the bars, you might encounter skeleton pirates from the distant southeast or a wandering monk of the mysterious Sohei. The landscape around the hub has also changed quite significantly. There are new major towns of Ironhaven and Vane's Pass occupying strategic spots that give you plenty of opportunities to make cats, recruit unique characters and get your early game to a good start. The Holy Nation lands to the north are as full of racists as ever, but all of their small farms have now been expanded into proper hamlets, each with their own unique name. The shack to the west are still warrior-like, but they ended up settling ranches where they raised battle bulls, because of course, no shack should eat meat from an animal that never tasted victory in combat. To the south, the swamps are still infested with swarms of deadly red menace, and the gangs still love fighting each other over the smallest insults. But their capital of Shark has been greatly expanded with additional buildings, defenses, and quest goals. East of the swamps lies Shem. This region is almost at the center of the world, yet in vanilla Kenshi, it's home only to a small nomad village, starving bandits, and big things. Project Genesis completely overhauls the area with multiple major towns and smaller villages, built with beautiful white Japanese-looking walls and buildings. Alas, the overhaul is not quite complete in alpha yet, and while you can visit the towns and wander the streets, they are all empty. New NPCs and factions will inhabit these beautiful cities when Project Genesis releases the beta update. Another not quite finished region lies southwest of the swamps. The grid is going through a major overhaul, with the workshop complex becoming a proper city protruding from the alien-looking spires. The swamp entrance now sports a wall and a manned gate, but the skeletons guarding it are not hostile at the moment. The complex city itself is still empty right now, although the buildings are all in place, quite like in Shem. Leaving the grid and pushing further to the southwest, you'll find yourself in a completely overhauled Shun. The region is now home to the Kingdom of Aurora, which boasts multiple cities and farms and is a great source of ancient recipes and books. Alas, it has recently come under the attack of the bug cultists, pushing their borders from the nasty Arak, where Bugmaster rules supreme. Now Shun is overrun by spiders of all kinds and shapes, some much nastier than what you could see in vanilla Kenshi. They have destroyed all but 3 of the Auroran cities and are a constant threat to those last bastions of humanity in the west. This makes Shun an extremely dangerous region to explore, but it can be very rewarding for seasoned veterans. One can also settle in Auroran cities and help them combat the bug menace, making it a region you could spend a lot of time in, instead of just one single trip through ancient libraries that exist there in vanilla Kenshi. Leaving Shun and heading south, you'll find a fully transformed Hook. If you're familiar with Swish mods, you will recognize the situation, but for those who have not experienced it yet, the region of Hook is now home to the Kingdom and the Gillish Trade Union. Recently, an all-out war has broken out between the two factions, and the whole region is on fire. If you're a scavenger type player, you could get plenty of opportunities to loot the battlefield while no one is looking and make a lot of cats selling weapons and armor. Or you could side with one of the nations and try to overtake the other. There are new cities, new important NPCs, and a whole battle zone to explore and exploit. Going east, there is a spit of coast leading towards the Ashlands, called Cheater's Run. In vanilla Kenshi, this region is home to wandering metal spiders and other nasty surprises, but in Project Genesis, the region has been fully rebuilt and populated by the Hydraulic Knights. Those are skeletons wearing ancient samurai armor living in the old towns and outposts that guard against the madness of the Southern Hive. Their strategic position makes for a unique starting point for adventurers heading to the Ashlands, offering a great way for them to exploit the most dangerous regions of Kenshi while still having a safe haven to fall back if things go awry. But say you don't want to go to Ashlands, so instead you go visit the southeastern coasts of Kenshi, a place where only crabs and fishmen used to roam. Not anymore. The whole region has been taken over by various pirate clans, again via one of the Swish mods, making the place extremely lively and varied. There are many new factions vying for control of the area, and siding with one of them will soon get you embroiled in a civil war. There are huge amounts of flavor text role players can enjoy, and even more towns, outposts, and way stations that can change hands from one faction to another with a bit of a nudge from the player. And rum. Plenty of rum. Heading north, one can take a short swim to the Avalon Isles, another standalone mod that has been incorporated into Project Genesis. These islands are the home of the famous Cross, the maker of all Meitu weapons in Kenshi. Luckily, he needs help dealing with some rogue elements that took over half of his giant city, and he has plenty of fresh new Meitu weapons to back his claim. Currently in alpha, his stores are not quite well defended, so a smart thief could run away with a backpack full of the best quality weapons, but luckily that is going to change with the beta release. The creatures and NPCs populating the islands are otherwise quite strong and work well as an additional endgame zone. If you leave the Isles north towards the Great Desert, you will find yourself in Howler's Maze. All I'm gonna say about that region is run away. And run as fast as possible. It might not be enough. There are plenty more small additions to the world as a whole, aiming to fill out the empty spots on the map. You can clearly see there has been a lot of hard work and love poured into Project Genesis, and the team of modders working on it deserve every praise. I've been blown away with the amount of content there is already in just the alpha release, and I can't wait to explore the whole world again when beta goes live. That's all I have prepared for today. I hope I gave you a good idea of what Project Genesis is trying to accomplish. I have a feeling it has a great and bright future ahead, and it might end up being the mod to play until Kenshi 2 is released, and potentially even have an influence on mechanics in Kenshi 2 through sieges and other unique features. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have an opinion on Kenshi or Project Genesis, don't be afraid to speak up in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what the Kenshi community thinks about this one. If you're new to the channel and you thought this video was good, feel free to check out my current Kenshi playthroughs and come say hi on Discord. We have a really cool and chill out community where we mainly talk about games and gaming, and you can also share stories of your own adventures in Kenshi. If you're an existing subscriber and you haven't turned on channel notifications yet, consider clicking that bell so you get notified every time when a new Kenshi episode goes live. It helps a lot. But for now, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.